ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go.
For 9 weeks, we've seen the best of what Goat Locker Racing and the Save 22 spring season has to offer, and it all comes to a head tonight as the Crusin Classics Premier Next Gen Series shows out for the regular season finale right here, right now on V-Speed. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Ken Huber, and alongside me, filling in for Jacob Lenke, will be Samuel Yosef. We also have Lucas Lyons on production tonight, and as always, the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's camera. Well, welcome on board there, Samuel. I tried to do my best Jacob Lenke impression there with that readout there, but glad to have you on board with us tonight.
Glad to be here, Ken. I'm really excited for this.
Well, yeah, this is going to be great because the sun is setting here at Darlington. This is one of my all-time favorite tracks. The place is very difficult to get around. You know, it's famous for the Darlington stripe and all that. But what are your thoughts on tonight's race coming into Darlington?
Well, it's a playoff cutoff race, so I'm expecting drivers to really show out their talent tonight. Cars are different, more horsepower, less downforce, so I'm expecting a lot of struggling cars out there tonight.
Well, you and I were talking pre-race about the standings and how the points race is really tightening up. We have 4 drivers that are locked into the chase. Next week will be the start of that chase, but we got Jeremy Gardner on top with 4 wins at the start of the season. Then you got James Silvers there, has got 2 wins, including last week in the first race of the season. Patrick Drabick himself has got 2 wins. Levi McCarty out there with the win. Those 4 drivers are locked in. And then we've got a handful of people that are probably going to make it in on points, but you're mentioning maybe some drama towards the cutoff line there.
Yeah, I mean, we got Jamie Lipke, who's been running a solid season on that last spot for the playoffs, and there's a couple drivers, James Kaufman and Tyler Evans, that I want to point out that have a chance to make it in if they have a better finish than Jamie tonight. Yeah,
well, it's going to be exciting to watch, and we're going to do this under the lights at Darlington, which is going to make it that much more exciting. And we are, like I said, we are at the track Too Tough to Tame, and that is our destination tonight. A longtime favorite for stock car fans, young and old, Darlington Raceway, the 1.36 asymmetrical oval of Harry Bird Highway has been a staple of the real-life Goat Locker competition, and it promises to give us a show at any point in the season. Who will be the one that survives a dance with the lady in black? And there you see it there. And as I mentioned, you know, Darlington, one of my favorite places. You know, the one thing I'll say, and this includes Dover, another one of my favorite tracks, is, you know, after we lost Dale Earnhardt and they added all the safer barriers, you know, this track in Dover especially, it kind of shrunk up the track even more. It was already a tight track, but this track was super fun before the safer barrier because you could really hang it out through 1 and 2. And it just made Darlington so fun. And it's still somewhat like that, but it's a little more crowded than in days past.
Yeah, definitely. I was just watching an old race before this, and you really saw how much space those cars had going into 1 and 2. And now with the safer barrier, it's really specific on how these drivers will have to enter into 1, make sure that they hit the correct corner, and then not slam the wall going into 2. So it's going to be very interesting how these drivers do that tonight.
Yeah, and we're going to see maybe some different kind of tactics too. You know, the track being oddly shaped, you got the bigger 1 and 2, a big sweeping corner, and then you've got turns 3 and 4 that is pretty tight. We might actually see some drivers shifting down there, but look down there. There's a race analysis. We're going to do 100 laps out there tonight with the pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. These drivers will have 3 sets of tires available to them with 2 green-white checkered attempts if we need it. 100% fuel with an ice racing fixed setup is what these drivers are going to be contending with here tonight. As we roll on, we're still qualifying here. We got a couple more minutes here, but so Sammy, you decided to come out of the car tonight and come up here in the booth. So, how much experience do you have here at Darlington?
Yeah, I feel like DW kind of just hopping out the car and heading up to the booth, but the track is, as you said, too tough to tame, and I kind of just gave up and decided that it's time to, make sure that I understand what the monster is. So I have a few races of experience, but like you said, it's too tough to tame, and I'm still learning the track.
It might be the best decision you ever made, because you get to join me and Lucas Lyons here in the booth, and it's always a lot of fun up here. So those guys are going to be fighting it out there down on the track as the sun sets. But the one thing, these next gen cars do have a lot of grip out there, a little easier to drive, and then we'll have, like I said, that extra grip as the sun starts to set here. We're looking at a track temperature right now as the sun's setting of 71 degrees, and that's only going to get cooler as the night progresses. Well, we have concluded qualifying, and it's time to talk about our Jam Printing and Promotions Pull Award. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Lockers Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And our Pull Award winner tonight is Jeremy Gardner. Is going to bring that thing there on the inside tonight to start this race. So no surprise there. On his outside, he's going to have another tough competitor there of Levi McCarty. On the inside, in the P3 position, will be Patrick Dravick. And on his outside, we'll have the 04 of Wesley Burke. Ryan Pendleton will start on the inside in P5 with James Silvers, last week's winner, will start on his outside in P6. Jacob Ellingson, kind of in a must-win situation here tonight, will start P7 with Travis Gilbert on his outside in P8. Chance Taylor will start on the inside in P9 with Timothy Wilms rounding out your top 10.
And rounding out the inside of the backside, Michael Kostick starting in 11th with Daniel Cunningham sitting on his outside in 12th. Going into 13th, we got Cody Anderson, and in 14th, we have Bear Morton. Starting in 15th, we have Jamie Lipke, who's looking to stay within those playoff positions, and James Kaufman, who's looking to take those positions. Going into 17th, we got Logan Threlkeld with Corinne Smith starting on his outside. Starting in 19th, we got Brian Provo and Tyler Evans starting in 20th. 21st, we got. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. We're winging it out here tonight, folks. But Jason Taylor is going to start on the inside in the 21st position. Bobby Bender on the outside in 22nd. Skylar Daly will start P23 with Michael Jones on his outside in P24. Tyler Justice, P25 out there. And then Chuck Feltz wraps out your 26 car field tonight here at Darlington. And that pace car is starting to lead these guys around for their one and only pace lap before we send them green flag racing. The car's rolling off now. They're going to get those tires warmed up. And, this is probably one of the most edgy parts of Darlington is the starts. Going into turn one, if you've got a little bit of advantage on the inside, you kind of want, if you're on the outside, you kind of want to give it up. You don't want to get side by side, but we know this is a battle for some of these guys to lock themselves into the chase. The top three out there, you can see Dravick and Gardner and Levi McCarty. Those guys are locked in with race wins, but a lot of other people behind them aren't, and they're going to go for it. James Silver's back there as well. So the four drivers are sitting in the top six anyway, as a pace car is only about a half a lap away from turning these guys loose.
Yeah, definitely, Ken. And really, it's going to be interesting how these drivers start taking these turns, with especially how tricky the grip will be as we go further with the tire run. So looking to see patience out here, but we'll see how this goes.
Well, the pace car is ducked onto pit lane, and we're looking for the extreme scoring restart zone, and we're going to turn them loose. And we are green flag at Darlington Raceway with Levi McCarty. Spins it right on the start of this race, sends it around, gathers up a bunch of drivers. Oh, what a way to start this race. I'm not sure if anybody got into the back of him there or what exactly happened, but What a tough start there for Levi McCarty. We're going to go back to the V-Speed instant replay, take another look at this, but it sounds like he might have had some tire spin out there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a tire spin, and you could really see with the playoffs coming up, drivers are really edging their way to try to get a good finish, and not a great start for Levi on that, and it looks like it took a lot of cars out with him as well.
Yeah, I see James Silver's in there. I see the 09. If you got Barrett Morton's involved in that. Barrett Morton, a strong driver. Hate to see it for a lot of these guys trying to lock themselves into the playoff with an early incident here. We're riding along here with Wesley Burke here, and he's just behind Levi McCarty here. And you see that car just turns loose and goes to the left here, and just nowhere for anybody to go. Actually goes to the right. And he collects up a bunch of drivers. Patrick Drabick getting into that a little bit as well. I think that car is going to be okay, but man.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird situation. And honestly, I'm interested to see what gear did Levi start in, because it was such a weird way that his tires just went straight to the right. But, yeah, looking at on board with James, getting the start and being in the middle of this field, you never really know when the line's going to start. And with that checkup, hits his brakes and just unfortunately gets a little nose damage. Ooh, yeah, that looks pretty bad. Both ways he was hit, so unfortunate for these drivers. But looking at Levi, just want to see what gear did he start in. It looks like he's in first gear.
Yeah, that's what it's showing there. Definitely, Samuel. It looks like he's in first gear there. We'll see if he goes to second.
Looks like a very early upshift. And honestly, with these cars, with how much power with the 750 horsepower coming in, these rear tires will never accept such a quick change like that.
Yeah, and we've had pit lane. It was quite active while we were looking at that incident. So we've had about, I don't know, almost 15 cars on pit lane go in and get their cars serviced and repaired. So like I said at the top of the broadcast here, they do not have quick repairs in this series. So a lot of those drivers spending the extra time to beat the fenders out there. There wasn't like super hard collisions out there. I don't think anybody is out of this race watching pit lane right now. Everybody leaving pit lane. Yeah, lots of damaged cars out there. And Samuel, you never want to be that guy, and unfortunately for Levi McCarty, he happened to be that guy tonight, just up at the front of the field and making a mistake there and costing a lot of drivers, if nothing else, a lot of track position. Watching Silvers race his way back up to the tail end of the lap here. Silvers, last week's winner there. He is locked into the chase, so he would certainly like to be up there battling for a win, and he can still do it. Very strong driver out there, but tough start to his night, and he'll go back up there and see if he can bring that Ford machine back up front.
Definitely, and honestly, he's not a stranger to taking a broken car up to a win, so really interested in see how he handles his car tonight.
Well, the lights are out atop the pace car. We're only about a quarter of a lap from sending them green flag racing once again. Jeremy Gardner now is going to lead us on the outside with Patrick Drabick down on his inside. Wesley Burke following down on the inside with Ryan Pendleton on his outside. So a little bit of a change there in the top 10. And we are green flag racing once again with Jeremy Gardner getting a really nice start there. A big jump on Patrick Drabick, which really what he needed to do. And these guys are all going to get single file. Very respectful racing out there, getting this whole field single file going into turn one.
Yeah, Jeremy Gardner with a great start. And I'm really seeing a lot of drivers taking a little caution with how they're driving after that first incident. So good to see everybody getting through the first lap cleanly.
Yeah, and this is kind of what you need to do at Darlington. You got to see what you got. You got to see what your competitors are doing. This isn't a track you really, out of all the ovals that are out there, this is really a track. We talk about it in road course racing all the time. Race the track, race the track, race the track. Well, a lot of ovals, the drivers really just race each other. They're turning left all the time. It's, but here at Darlington, you truly are. For an oval, you're constantly racing this track. It will beat you up, chew you up, and spit you out if you abuse the way you get around this place. And so the driver's doing a great job as we got. Maybe I thought we were going to get too wide back there, a little bit further in the field, but they're still all single file right now. I'm looking right now. I want to say that's Jacob Ellingson, and just behind him, we got Chance Taylor there in the 14 car. So Looked like there was a little bit of a battle heating up there. You can see how these cars swing up high in 1 and 2. And that is the only line for this track. The best line is we got a pass off for Patrick Drabick right now. Looks like Ryan Pendleton in the 23. Oh, they get together. Patrick gets that Darlington stripe, trying to recover that car. He's going to lose a bunch of positions as all the way back to the Chance Taylor. Chance Taylor is going to get by as well. So Patrick Drabick moving back to the 6th position.
Yeah, if you saw the race over the weekend at Darlington, you saw a lot of drivers try that move going into 3, and Pendleton definitely trying to imitate that and definitely wasn't on the brakes as hard as he needed to be. So unfortunate for Drabick, but it's still in the race, and we have a caution that has now came out.
Yeah, it looks like the 4-car James Silver's involved in an incident here. Not really sure exactly what happened here, but you can see Silver's with some more damage on that Ford machine. He was caught up in that first incident. We're going back to the V-Speed instant replay here. And it goes down into 1. Everything looks good here. And it might have been an incident that happens in front of him here. Oh, he gets into the back there. I'm not sure who that was. I'm just looking back to try to figure out who. Oh, Chuck Phelps gets into the rear quarter panel of Chuck Phelps and sends that 4-car around and damages the 4-car as well. So really tight racing out there, limited space to make these passes, and just washed up the track a little bit. Silver's trying to make up that ground as we're taking another look here. Gets down low. Go ahead. Yeah, just washes up the track there in the center of the corner. Sorry there, Samuel, for interrupting you there. And oh, another car involved there too. It looks like our Crusin Classics machine also involved in that. Brian Provo as well.
Yeah, definitely a weird situation, but that is Darlington in a nutshell coming out of 2. If you don't get off the gas just right, and looking at the in-car, just Brian Provo trying to check up and hits the rear of his Timothy Williams car. So unfortunate for both drivers. That's definitely going to lead to some nose damage for Brian Provo right there.
Well, another group of cars headed to pit lane. Patrick Drabick is going to give up that 6th position. Going to get that machine fixed. If you remember, he got up into the wall after that incident there with Ryan Pendleton, I believe it was. And so he's going to get that car repaired, get some fresh tires on there. You can see pit lane is quite active tonight. See Corin Smith exiting pit lane as these other cars get repaired. Levi McCarty's broken machine down there at the top of your screen. There's Corin Smith in that number 10 machine. Yeah. Yeah, so we like our fancy color schemes. Corin Smith has got a really nice scheme on that car. I don't know, Samuel, what do you think about nice schemes and liveries for these machines?
Honestly, if anybody wants to know, I do know a guy. I do know a group actually, and it's going to be Harpoon Designs. Custom iRacing cars designed for you by you. We can design cars based on existing NASCAR schemes or a fantasy theme. Online image is everything in today's business world. From brand identity to effective digital marketing graphics, Harpoon Designs is a one-stop shop for all your graphic design needs. We offer artistic solutions for all modern mediums, including print, electronic, and web media. And really, Ken, honestly, I have my next-gen car under Harpoon Designs, and it's a great product.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been to their website, checked out the work he does. I checked him out on Facebook because he'll post his designs out there, and they're just truly works of art. And then we've got a lot of drivers out here that run his scheme, so make sure you check out Harpoon Designs. It's also very nice having them on board here as a sponsor here in Goat Locker Racing.
Definitely, and I think pace car lights are out, so we're going to come to 1 to green right here, Ken.
Absolutely. So we got 2 corners to go, and we're going to send them. Hopefully, we'll get some more green flag racing in. That's my hopes. Jeremy Gardner there on the outside once again has chosen that outside lane over Ryan Pendleton in the 23 car just below him. Wesley Burke on the inside with Jacob Ellingson now. He moved him up to the 4th position. Pace car is ducked off into pit lane, and we are waiting for that extreme scoring zone for them to hit, and they're in it, and we are green flag once again. Ellingson Ellingson gets a little loose there, a little bit of tire spin, trying to push Gardner up. That's going to allow that machine of Ryan Pendleton to slip in front. Ellingson falls back to 3rd. Oh, more contact towards the back. Taylor, I believe, gets into the back of the 3 car of Michael Kostick. Michael Kostick gets the rear end of that car stuck to the wall a little bit. He was able to recover. We stay green. That allowed Logan Threlkeld to get by.
Yeah, definitely. Great start for Jeremy Gardner again into the restart. And really, Jacob Ellingson with the dream start right now in P3, looking for that win to get into the playoffs. And I'm looking for Jacob to really step up his game tonight.
Yeah, he's probably wants to find some clean air right now, running in the back, kind of monitoring what those two guys in front of him. But Jacob Ellington's got another guy following him very close there, and that's good old Wesley Burke. Wesley Burke is no slouch himself, and you know, a little bit more of an aggressive driver as he loses connection there, but he is back. He is tailing in hot pursuit of that driver of Jacob Ellington.
Yeah, Wesley Burke rocking the, I believe that's a Carson Hose of our late model scheme, so good to see the throwback scheme out here. And yeah, like you said, Wesley is definitely a great driver, really showed his speed this season coming into the next gen series. Enjoyable to race against as a teammate, so looking to see Wesley really take a podium here, but I think Jake is going to be a real stalwart to not get him that position.
Oh, the 60 car, Jason Taylor had a big moment, able to lock it down and get it saved. We stay under green, but he's going to have to ride down on the apron and let everybody pass because he doesn't want to move up in front of that traffic. We're going back to the V-Speed instant replay and see exactly what happened. Looks like he gets loose on corner exit here, able to save the car, keep it off the inside wall, but like I said, he had to give up pretty much every position on track. He's now at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, so, I mean, and we're going to check it out. I think something happened to Barrett, and Barrett Morton with that earlier wreck. Ooh, Barrett going down into this track, you know, it just does what it does.
Yeah, once again, loose on that exit there, and that's what we're seeing tonight. I remember Gardner talking about it pre-race, that the cars were loose on exit. You know, Barrett Morton, speaking of throwback schemes, that was another throwback scheme. That's a 2004 Matt Kenseth scheme on that machine. So that's actually a car that I've never seen Matt Kenseth in, but I'm used to seeing Matt Kenseth in the old DeWalt. That's what I'm always familiar with. But what a heck of a scheme that he's running on that machine as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then as we were speaking on that, I think I saw Corinne just slam the wall a little bit into one, and starting to see these older tires. I don't know if Corinne took new tires on her last pit start, but the old tires are starting to show its age, and grip is starting to fall right now with these drivers.
Yeah, one thing I didn't talk about at the top of the broadcast was the length that they're able to go on a tank of gas, and that's about 70 laps, somewhere in there, maybe a few laps more. With a 100-lap race, it's obviously a one-stopper, but I guarantee you, they don't want to go 70 laps on tires out here. They don't, you know, after about 20 laps, these guys are screaming for tires. We got another car. It looks like Brian Provo tags the wall there. A bunch of cars are going to get by there. We see Barrett Morton getting by, and Corin Smith. They'll get by that driver. Brian Provo having some struggles out here with that machine, and there's probably a lot of damage on that car, and it's probably why it's pushing up and giving him fits there, and he's getting into the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And we're looking at Jamie Lipke, who is looking for a really good finish tonight, right on the cusp of the playoff line. Ooh, and we see Patrick Drabe hit the wall again. So maybe Patch has some damage now with the amount of times, but going back to Jamie on the cut line with Daniel on the inside. Ooh, real close. And that's Darlington Racing right there, just holding your line as best as you can.
That's what you call two of Greg Biffles fighting each other, because those are both in throwback Greg Biffle schemes. So some more throwback out there. I might be mistaken here. I think I'm going to be corrected here. Yeah. So Bright, what was that? Oh, Tony Stewart. Excuse me. Yeah, that was right. That was Tony Stewart. And then we got Greg Biffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get these right. You know, my kids are around there. I got to show my age here. You know, so you know I'm used to Tony Stewart being in the Home Depot car, so I'm just showing all kinds of how old I am. Of course, I'm not as old as Patrick Travis. I didn't pull guard duty on the burning. I didn't pull guard duty on the burning bush or anything like that. So now we're all out here having fun. Speaking of Patrick Dravick, he is behind this group of two and trying to make his way back up front after that pit stop, repairing that damage from that early race incident with Levi McCarty.
Definitely. Yeah, Pat really looking to go forward, but I think this car has to have wheel damage after the amount of times I've seen him. Oh! And I think that is Bobby Bender, who out of the exit of 4 just kind of lost control right there. And unfortunately slammed the wall, but we're still green. Oh! That was scary right there.
Yeah, it's scary for every driver that was coming up on that corner watching Bobby get loose there. And we don't call him Bobby Fender Bender for no reason there. He gets in that inside wall there, damaged that car. I think he was really looking forward to tonight's race. And he is one of our producers here on V-Speed, so tough break for Bobby Bender. He's going to definitely lose a couple of laps trying to get that thing to pit road and get it repaired.
And it just seems like all the drivers are really having a hard time to stay out of the wall. And honestly, I don't blame them for, wow. Yeah, Darlington is starting to eat up these cars right here.
Well, Samuel, now I see why you're in the booth with me, because I don't think my sim rig can handle the action that these guys are putting themselves through right now. I think that, the impacts are so great here as we watch the 60 car get by the 4. The impacts are so great here that you can feel it right in your sim rig and have bolts come loose. As a matter of fact, last night, one of the series, we had a sim rig break. So, these guys might be dealing as we see another car there get loose on the exit there, trying to keep it off the wall. So I'm kind of surprised to see these next-gen cars. I think, with the fixed setups, the one thing that these guys have to struggle with, everybody's running the same setup other than maybe the steering ratio and brake bias. And so what they're having to fight with is maybe not the best setup for these conditions. And so it's who can master the setup the best. And that's what these guys are dealing with out here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I think with the cooler temperatures, actually it did kind of increase in temp a little bit as we got deeper into the night. Now we're sitting at 77. And I think with the worn out tires, drivers are starting to go back a little bit on the brake bias or go forward into brake bias to kind of control the car going through the corners.
Well, Daniel Cunningham in that Tony Stewart inspired throwback scheme there, still putting pressure on Jamie Lipke. Jamie Lipke right on that cutoff line, as you mentioned there, Samuel. So she definitely wants to get herself up and maintain that right now, currently running in that 11th position. Daniel Cunningham would like to take that from her. He's going to put some pressure here as they go through 1 and 2. Going up high the track, see if he can get the run off the track, but I think Jamie's got it locked up there with a little bit of extra momentum there on the outside.
Yeah, definitely. Patrick, I think his car is, we were looking at Bobby in the pits actually after all his damage, but Patrick is really pushing, but Jamie having a solid race once again, really showing the consistency that she's shown all season, and really good to see her going forward right now. But yeah.
Well, looking back up front here with Wesley Burke, looking at Wesley Burke and Jacob Ellingson, as we got a battle starting to heat up here in the top 4. So Jeremy Gardner's opened himself up to about a two-second lead over Ryan Pendleton. And then we're watching the 2 cars behind them, Jacob Ellingson and Wesley Burke, kind of duke it out right now. Jacob Ellingson in pretty much a must-win situation here.
Oh, we got Skylar Daly in the wall. Sorry.
We're still under green, so another one of those, another throwback scheme on top of that, an old Sterling Martin scheme, it looks like. So Skylar Daly having an incident on the track, and let's see what happens to him as we go back to the V-Speed instant replay. Yeah, just gets loose on exit there and sends that car into the inside retaining wall. So a lot of damage on that Mustang. Gonna have to bring that thing in and get it repaired.
Yeah, honestly, abracadabra. The tires went loose and slammed into the wall. So Darlington really showing his stripes right now, but good to see that Skylar's still running. It hasn't gone down into the pits, so damage might not be that bad, knowing that in iRacing, if you just hit the wall just right, the car can still run a little, not as 100%, but still good.
Looking at Barrett Morton in the 9 machine, trying to take a look at the inside of Michael Jones there in the 2. Michael Jones in that dark gray machine just ahead of the Pennzoil car there as they go through 3 and 4. It looks like Barrett Morton's going to have to back off just a hair as we move a little bit further up track, checking out the 60 car, Jason Taylor.
Yeah, Jason Taylor with that Greg Biffle scheme. I'm loving to see that. Really hitting the lines correctly. And just a little hit on the wall for Jason, or not Jason Taylor, actually the car ahead, but Jason really showing his way around the track, and honestly, it looks like a good run for the 60 right now.
Yeah, that's Tyler Evans just ahead of him there in the 77. Tyler having a decent night so far. Started in the 20th position, up to 14th. So Tyler's having a solid night. We've seen him bounce it off the wall. But, I think we can say that for just about every driver out here tonight. I don't know what car I haven't seen in the wall. I think that's an easier thing to call out than who has. But, yeah, kind of crazy out here tonight. We're 33 laps into this race, about 15 laps or so away from the halfway point when we could potentially start seeing green flag stops. And what an amazing sight that would be to see green flag stops here at Darlington.
Yeah, and if the viewers aren't really familiar on the entrance for Darlington, it requires a really steep left out of 3 into the pits, and a lot of drivers can mess up that entrance, either spinning or hitting the inside barrier. So I'm really looking forward to green flag pit stops if they happen.
Well, you just seen that pass between Jason Taylor and Tyler Evans, so Jason Taylor able to get by. Now we move back up front to the battle with Wesley Burke and Jacob Ellingson. As they go down the backstretch here, Wesley Burke in tow in that red. Well, they're actually both red and white in some respects, but Wesley Burke back there in that 04 machine trying to find a way around Jacob Ellingson. Both those drivers look pretty equally matched at the moment. Neither one of them able to step away from each other.
Yeah, definitely not really getting away, but I'm honestly starting to think that with the pit stops and the green flag running now, with all the cars kind of fall into the groove, do drivers start thinking about the long game, maybe fuel saving for the end? Do you think, Ken?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's definitely a one-stop race no matter what you do. Even those guys that came in early are going to have to pit at least once. And, the tires get so bad here with 70 laps. I don't know that these guys can push the cars out 70 laps. We had a race, I'm trying to remember where that was earlier this season, where drivers were blowing the right fronts on the car. So we could see that here at Darlington. I'm not as familiar in the next-gen cars of how capable those are of getting a full tank of fuel, but I think if we were to have a caution at any point here, that would settle it. Everybody would be on, and everybody could make it to the end on fuel. But I think we'll see definitely everybody on pit lane once more if we stay green.
Yeah, definitely. And we're watching Patrick Drabick, trying to get through Jamie, and Jamie holding a good effort with James Silvers getting out the way of the lap car. And I think Pat is just trying to set up the pass, hitting the mark right into one correctly, and just trying to get a better exit than Jamie. And as we look inside, and yeah, it looks like that he's just trying to set up that pass. Maybe it's a 3 and 4, it's a better area to do it, but he's really trying to fish that line to get inside and make that pass.
Well, if you remember, Patrick Drabick was one of the last cars there on pit road. So Patrick Drabick has moved himself up from the 20th position now, where he's restarted this race up to 11th. Jamie Lipke up to 10th, so she's up a position. So both these drivers trying to fight their way up. Of course, Jamie Lipke, as you mentioned, is on that cut line. So, Jamie's just got to be careful, have a nice clean race, try to stay in the top 10 and try to lock herself into this playoff battle.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, with the amount of cars that have left, I think Jamie realizes that she just has to survive in order to make the playoffs, and she's doing a really good job just hitting her lines, hitting her marks. And we're looking at Levi McCarty coming back. Oh, he's hitting the backside, so must have had a little mistake for him right there. So Levi having a tough race, but fortunately he is already in the playoffs, so not a big deal.
Yeah, these drivers want to be out there. They want to put on a good show for their sponsors, and sometimes, it just unfortunate things happen. He caught that early spin there, really struggling with that car. I just don't think he's going to be able to run that car here tonight. I imagine that'll probably be his last attempt to get that car back out there. But we got a little bit of coverage there as we're watching the 04 Wesley Burke putting a little bit more pressure on Jacob Ellingson. And you can see Wesley Burke taking a little bit lower line there, trying to find some advantage as they go through turns 3 and 4 here and cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, and sorry, Ken.
No, go ahead.
On you right there.
No,
one thing I did notice was that Jeremy Gardner is running out to his big lead, but I did notice that Ryan, Jacob, and Wesley are pretty much running similar times, and I think they're just trying to conserve their tires a little bit better. Maybe trying to get an undercut going situation, but hopefully they can reel in Jeremy Gardner a little bit.
Barrett Morton getting by Timothy Williams there, just behind there. Timothy Williams involved in an early accident. I think of that the second accident that we had on the night, the one of on the second caution. We've only had 2 cautions out here tonight, but Barrett Morton's starting to make his way back up front, trying to chase down the 77 there now in front of him of Tyler Evans as they go by the lap car. James Silvers, I can't believe I'm saying that James Silvers is a lap down, but that's the kind of night that James Silvers, this is what Darlington does. It just
oh no.
It looks like maybe that was Jacob Ellingson goes around. Going to go back. We're still green, so if he keeps it down on the apron, we'll stay green. But taking another look at the V-Speed instant replay here. Wesley Burke attempting the pass here. Jacob is holding the line there. Yeah, just a little light tap there, and it sends that driver, Jacob Ellingson. That is not what he wanted to see, and I guarantee you, he is not a happy driver right now.
Yeah, I really feel bad for Jake. I think Jake just slowed down a little bit so he didn't hit the wall, and Wesley with a little bit better run just clip that inner quarter panel and send Jake around. But it didn't look like Jake hit the wall that hard, so hopefully Jake can get a caution if the car is still good and work his way back up the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order. We're looking at Travis Gilbert there in the 44. Got Chance Taylor just behind him there in the 14. Looking at this 3-car battle, that's allowed these 2 guys to get up behind Wesley Burke there in the 04. I see a little love tap on the wall for Wesley Burke as they cross the start-finish line, running down into turn 1. But Travis Gilbert with another strong one. Last week, he finished 3rd. So, but, you know, as soon as we start talking about them, all these drivers are up in the wall. These tires are getting old, 45 laps on them. So they're starting to have their struggles. Probably can't wait for that first pit stop, but putting all kinds of pressure on Wesley Burke right at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Tires are starting to fall off, and we know that the fuel tank can go to 70, but I'm interested to see with everybody from 1st through 9th hasn't done their pit stop yet. So fresh tires are definitely on the mind on a lot of these drivers in the top 10.
Yeah, I do like the way Gilbert is running here in that 44 car. He really had a solid run last week. Showing it once again here tonight. Wesley Burke is going to have his hands full here before this pit cycle, putting a lot more pressure on. Definitely has more speed in that 44, it looks like, and just trying to find the right way around. Probably looking for some clean air on the nose of that car. Trying to find any way around that 04 machine that he can.
Yeah, and it looks like, and as I was just about to say, he kind of clipped the wall, but it looks like Gilbert had saved his tires a little bit during the beginning of the run and now is on the attack. And you can see Wesley, who probably wasn't saving tires, trying to keep up with Jake Ellingson, is starting to suffer with a little bit of tightness in the corner. And Gilbert getting real close right there. Might be going into turn 1 and make a move. Might be the best opportunity for him to get by unless we
lost him. We don't have Wesley Burke on the track, so it looks like we have an internet issue for Wesley Burke, and if that continues, that's going to be a free pass for that 44 car. He isn't going to have to work any harder now because Wesley Burke might be out of this thing with connection issue. And, you know, they were piling up in some traffic there. That's where they got all ganged up. They came up on the lap car of James Silvers, and that stacked everybody up. And then just when it was about to get really ugly, Wesley Burke's connection tapped out. So unfortunate for Wesley Burke.
No, definitely unfortunate. But looking at this other battle, we got Michael Kostick in the Clint Boyer team making a move on Logan Brokheld, and that is a picture-perfect move going into 1 and 2 for Michael Kostick. So great move by him, taking over the 6th position. Logan Brokheld lets him by, and everybody's still surviving right now until lap 50.
Well, speaking of surviving, I'm just going to call your attention to Jeremy Gardner. We haven't talked about him all night because he's been up front. He's got a 5.5-second lead plus out there just leading this thing. We are crossing the halfway point next time by. So Jeremy Gardner just in solid command. 4 wins on the season. Solid command here at Darlington tonight. He did say this is one of his favorite tracks, and it certainly shows out here tonight because he is dominating at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Jeremy Gardner, you know, he's been coaching me a little bit this season with the next gen car, and I really appreciate his efforts. And as you can see, he is the top dog of the field right now with his 4 wins. And Darlington, one of his favorite tracks, so I was looking forward to seeing how he masters the track, and he's going through this lap traffic just seamlessly right now.
Well, as we cross the halfway point, we got one of our first takers for pit lane. That is the 60 car of Jason Taylor, going to come in and get that pit service done here right at the halfway point. So we did have a few laps under caution, about 6 laps under caution. Looking at Patrick Drabick continuing to march his way up forward. He did get around Jamie Lipke, And now he's working on the back of Logan Threlkeld just ahead of him there in the 30 machine. So,
Yeah,
Dravik, you got it there, Sam.
Sorry, Ken. Yeah, definitely. You know, that tire difference really showing right now for Patrick. Going down the backstretch, just making an easy pass on Threlkeld right there into 3. So, better tires, better passing, but looking for Threlkeld to get into these pits real soon.
Well, that almost sounded like a Papa John's commercial there. Better passing, better. What was that? I need to remember that. Might be a good news slogan. Yeah, Dravik moved himself up to the 7th position, so, you know, he is definitely working it. He's probably going to need a caution to make anything for a win, as we got another car on pit lane. As Barrett Morton getting his service done on the night. Barrett Morton now going a lap down. But that 07 working his way up through the traffic. He's got 2 wins on the season himself, so he'd sure like a shot at a third win before we go to our playoff races.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like between the top 7, the tire fall off on time isn't really that big from the beginning. So really, it's if you saved your tires in the beginning, the best time to attack is now before these pit stops. And it looks like Patrick and even Travis Gilbert are really taking advantage of that, with Gilbert getting on the backside of Pendleton right now.
Yeah, Gilbert searching for that second, that P2 slot right now. Ryan Pendleton above him there. Yeah, definitely doing a great job out there for Gilbert, and I like the fact that they're staying out there. One of the nice things when you do have kind of a lead over your competitors with Gilbert being at least a second over Chance Taylor, is he works on the inside of Ryan Pendleton in that 23 car, and now they're going to go side by side as they cross the start-finish line. But you got a little bit of a lead, so you know how much time you can give up. You can stay out on the track as long as possible. You just watch your competition. And when they head to pit lane, it might give you an extra lap or 2 that you can stay out. So probably watching their mirrors, watching for when Ryan Pendleton and Chance Taylor are going to head to pit lane before they duck off.
Yeah, it was a textbook pass by Gilbert right there on Pendleton. So clearly you could see that Gilbert saved his tires a lot better, able to make that move into 1 and 2. And Pendleton kind of scraped the wall a little bit. So Gilbert on and away. Was 7 seconds behind Gardner, so we'll see if he can either reel him in, but great job by him right now.
Yeah, doing what it takes out here, and he does have quite a bit of time now to make up on Jeremy Gardner, so anything can happen out here at Darlington. Of course, the caution will change anything if we do end up with another one of those, but this is starting to have that green flag look to it. I think people have got these cars set up and kind of got a feel for how they're driving now, and kind of being able to hand to them. I don't see as much wall contact as we seen at the start of the race. Looking at Chance Taylor back there in the number 14 car, now up to 4th. He is creeping into this picture as well. Got some lap cars. You see Jason Taylor there. One of the lap cars are going around him. But yeah, go ahead there.
No, you read in my mind exactly. You could see that tire difference between Jason, who just came into the pits, and Ryan, who's on 57 lap old tires. So fresh tires are really the change of the game here, but you know, the top 5 is really trying to stay out as long as they can before they make their pit stops.
Looking back at Jamie Lipke right now. Jamie Lipke still running in the 9th. Actually, she's up another spot. Logan Threlkeld there just ahead of her. I think Logan Threlkeld made that pass. And so Logan Threlkeld is able to get by. And now we got the lap car of Barrett Morton, who's on fresh tires, is going to go by Jamie. And Timothy Williams is looking to the inside as well. Another one of those cars that's a lap down on fresh tires.
Yeah, Jamie just having another solid race, and really when we started at the top of the broadcast, Jamie really just needed to make sure that she finished a really good race and she'll be in the playoffs, and definitely doing that right now, so kudos to her for that.
She is doing exactly what she needs to do. And back up front here, looking at Chance Taylor running up the track here, trying to chase down Ryan Pendleton in the 23. Oh, and he loses the rear end, almost collects the inside retaining wall, able to save that 14, get it back up on track. Doesn't have a bunch of traffic. We've seen those drivers do that early when the pack was coming up behind them, had to stay down on the apron, but that 14 was able to keep it up on track and able to save that thing. But that allowed Cody Anderson in that number 20, that silver and yellow-green machine, to get by. So Cody Anderson started in the 13th position. Now he is in P5.
Cody, teammate of Jeremy Gardner, really quiet driver tonight, just working his way through. And looks like his tires really don't have a fall off compared to how chances are. So really great job by Cody tonight.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the timing and scoring. And ever since Travis Gilbert in the 44 got by and got into that second position over Ryan Pendleton, he's been able to match lap times with Jeremy Gardner. He just hasn't been able to run him down. So, you know, if we do end up with a caution or something happens to Jeremy Gardner, those two drivers could really go at it. But there we are. We're looking at the 44 right now, currently running in second, all by his lonesome at the moment. Trying to track down Jeremy Gardner. He did give up a 10th that last lap. But they've kept it pretty equal ever since he's gotten into that second position.
And I'm looking at the 2 car. Is that a root beer paint scheme right there, or am I looking at it wrong?
I don't have Jacob here to educate me on such things, but it might be root beer. Yeah, no, in that 2 car, I think it is a root beer machine for that 2 car. That's Michael Jones there going a lap down. So Michael Jones having he'd probably like to have a better night out there, but he's currently running in the 12th position or 11th position. Actually, he's having a better night than I thought he was. So Michael Jones, sorry about that. You're having a decent night. They're about to break into the top 10.
Yeah, and I'm really loving his paint scheme, one of my favorite drinks. But yeah, Michael Jones having a great night. Really has progressed this season coming into the next gen. And so it's really good to see him nearing the top 10, really just doing what he needs to do at Darlington right now.
While I was watching those cars go by, I believe we have Logan Threlkeld has got his pit stop done under green flag conditions. So we are seeing green flag stops at Darlington. That's why this is the Premier Series. So guys are doing a great job out here. You can see Logan Threlkeld there. Go back to the V-Speed instant replay and watch him enter pit lane here. But going to get that 30 machine serviced, get it back out there and see if he can make up some time. So he's going to be out there on fresh tires, and everybody else in front of him is going to be giving up time. So we'll see how he does with this pit stop.
Yep, and Jeremy Gardner's succeeded the lead, so Gilbert's to the lead, but like you said, green flag pit stops are on their way.
Jamie Lipke also on pit lane now. Travis Gilbert headed to pit lane, so a lot of our leaders getting these cars serviced. So they reached the point, 35 laps to go. It's time to get fresh tires and fuel in these machines. Jeremy Gardner able to go 65 laps. I guess that's as far as he wanted to push it and get this thing. So that's going to allow Cody Anderson to lead a lap. So his teammate out there in that 20 machine going to lead a lap. And I imagine we'll see him on pit lane here shortly. It looks like he's diving to the inside. So this is an interesting look at this pit lane entry here. So there's 2 ways to enter pit lane here. One is that very low approach, or you can brake on the racetrack and pull it down. Both seem equally as fast, but I imagine that if the 20 car is Jeremy Gardner's teammate, that's probably the fastest way on the pit lane.
Yeah, definitely. Drivers not taking any chances with the pit road entry and, ruining how good of a race they've had so far. So green flag pit stops are pretty much coming to a conclusion. Pat, he did pit early, so I don't know if he has enough fuel to make it to the end, but he has been running consistent. So, Pat's just hoping for that yellow flag to come out with these drivers on older, newer tires to make a mistake probably.
Well, I'm just looking at it right now. So he pitted, he's 59 laps in this stint right now. So technically he can go 60s, 20, maybe 25 laps at best, I would say. And there's 32 laps in this race. So I mean, he is going to have to go into pure conservation mode. We watch our leader, leader prior to the pit cycle, Jeremy Gardner, go by him. But Pat is going to have to save an awful lot of fuel. And truthfully, I'd have to say that Jeremy Gardner would be able to go ahead and go all the way around the track and catch Patrick Drabick if that's a strategy he's employing at the moment.
Definitely. Yeah, I think you're right, Ken, but we did have a race where one driver was able to, fuel save all the way to the end. So maybe Pat's thinking about it, or Pat's just like, I just need a top 3 tonight.
Well, the other option too is Pat might be hoping for that caution flag as well. So he's already got 2 wins on the season, so he's locked into the chase. All this race is about for him is bonus points. So that might be part of the strategy as well as we look a little bit further back in the field here.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Timothy Wilms, and Timothy just having a decent race, but like I said, with the fuel strategy, Timothy was able to carry all the way to the end. I believe he ran out of gas right as he crossed the line. So that strategy is not unfamiliar to these drivers. If I remember it correctly, I think he was able to beat Cody Anderson on that strategy. So little scarring between some drivers on how things have turned out around this track, but that's just one thing that makes Darlington great for oval racing.
Well, we'll see if anybody can do that out here tonight. Michael Jones on pit lane, exiting that number 2 machine right now. So he's getting his done. And we got a black flag for Brian Provo there. So looks like there was an incident on the track. Race control is giving him a black flag. So he's going to have to come in and do a drive-through in that machine. So another tough break there for Brian Provo. As we're watching Jeremy Gardner try to make his way back around the track right now. Got a bunch of guys that didn't pit in front of him right now. So Jeremy Gardner currently running in P3. Looking to take that second spot away from James Kaufman now in that 25 car.
Yeah, James Kaufman in the same situation as Patrick Dravick, pitted, got caught up in that early wreck in the beginning and pitted on lap 10 last time. So really just trying to keep.
And speaking of that, sorry for interrupting, but he's headed to pit lane. So, it goes back to that strategy with Patrick Dravick that I was talking about. So, like you said, these guys trying to save it. Patrick is still out there, but that 25 machine on pit road, so he didn't feel like he could make it. We'll have to see what Patrick Dravick's thinking.
Yeah, and honestly, if he's pitting, I think Dravick is going to probably pit with the rate that Jeremy Gardner is closing in right now.
Yeah, well, so far he's staying out there. Like I said, Patrick Dravick has nothing to lose here, other than bonus points. So, maybe preying on that caution. But man, these guys have really been keeping it clean here the last 60 laps or so. So doing a great job out here. As we're getting near the end of this thing, we're 3/4 of the way done here. So if these guys can keep it clean, Patrick Dravick might have to pull out that lucky rabbit's foot and figure out what he's got left in that machine and to try to fend off. Because Gardner's going to be coming.
Yeah, definitely. And, there is a thing that I love to see Pat in, and it's not in a racing car. Do you know what it is, Ken?
Probably I'm going to say Goat Talk Live. And Goat Talk Live is one of those great things that him and Eddie Smith do on Thursday nights, which is tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, same time as our race times. But Goat Talk Live is a weekly podcast and live show hosted by Eddie Smith and Patrick Dravick, and is a production of AT Above the Yellow Line Media, which focuses on league motorsports, veteran and first responder community stories. So if you want to know what's going on around the league with some of our drivers, some of the great things that we got going on around here at Go Locker Racing, make sure you check them out on Thursday nights on Above the Yellow Line Media. So I think they'll be on tomorrow night, and a great way to catch up on all the happenings around the league and the organizations that support us.
Yeah, Go Talk Live is probably one of my favorite things to do on a Thursday night. So they haven't had a couple.
Oh man, Sam, man, that's the life. That's a hard life.
Ah, man, no, don't make me sound boring.
Patrick Dravick right now. No, it is a great way to spend your Thursday night. So yeah, continue on.
Oh, you're good. No, Go Talk Live is really awesome, and they've had a couple shows. Pat has been busy doing Goat Locker things. I think they just delivered another sim rig today, so hopefully they'll be on tomorrow and get to catch up on everything.
Yeah, I always like to see what's going on around the league and the organization. Looking at Patrick Dravick get around. He's got the lap car right now of Barrett Morton trying to get back on the lead lap there. So Barrett Morton currently running in 10th. So 9 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Well, actually 2 cars. I take that back. So Jeremy Gardner and Patrick Dravick are the only cars on the lead lap, it looks like. So Gardner has raced his way back onto the lead lap. And, I guarantee you Patrick at this point. Speaking of Patrick Dravick, he is headed to pit lane. So he held on as long as he could, but he is going to give up the lead back to Jeremy Gardner as he gets that car serviced and try to make up some positions.
Yeah, a great run by Pat after his early issues, but just not enough time to save enough fuel to hold it. But great run by him with Gardner about to reassume the lead. We'll see. I think it's Gilbert was a little bit further than what it was before the pit cycle, but seems like everything's going to go back to normal.
Yeah, and that's going to put about 10, 11 cars back on the lead lap now that traffic is pit. He had all those cars pinned a lap down, and you see Barrett Morton. He was trying to work it. You can see that on your screen there, Barrett Morton showing one lap down, but I believe once Barrett Morton crosses the start-finish line, he'll be on the lead lap. So leaves 10 cars on the lead lap there. You see Threlkeld back there, but Gardner back in the lead of this thing in firm control. Got looks like he's got about 7 seconds over Travis Gilbert, that number 44 that we were talking about. That gap really hasn't changed since before the pit cycle. So they're kind of maintaining each other's pace there, but Gilbert's going to need something to happen to have any shot at that 57 machine.
Yeah, definitely. And looking into the rest of the field, I do kind of see a battle starting to form a little bit for P3, the final podium position. Chance Taylor came in first between him, Cody Anderson, and Michael Kostick. And Kostick has the fresher tires compared to the three, and they're starting to reel each other in, running about a tenth faster than Taylor. So we're looking at about 18 laps to go. There could be a battle for P3 coming to the end.
Yeah, and every point matters for some of these drivers to stay in the chase here. So we'll see what happens as Chance Taylor gets in the wall. We got another car in the wall, it looks like there. So a close call for another one of those drivers, trying to get his drawers shaken out there and getting back on the track. So that's the 60 car once again at Jason Taylor. Was running in the 8th position. He is now back down to 9th. Keeping it down on the apron there. I'm not sure if he's headed to pit lane or no. He's going to move back up on the track maybe. No, there might be some damage on that car. I don't see any black flags, but it looks like that car might be done or headed to pit lane.
Yeah, I think the car took its last hit and he's going to bring it back down to pit lane. So unfortunate for Jason Taylor, but Darlington just chewing up more cars.
Yeah, just limping that thing onto pit lane here. And I wonder if I'm just going to look at his stand. Yeah, he was on pit lane 32 laps ago, so definitely was getting to his pit window, or not to his pit window. Oh, he spins it around there on pit road. So, yeah, his night is over.
Yeah, and honestly, unfortunate to see, but looking at Jake Ellingson right now, and we did see him get spun early in the race, and he's brought it back up to 10th place, just under a lap down. So Jake definitely hoping for a caution to get a little wave by him, hopefully at the end, but great recovery drive by him after falling, I think, all the way down to nearly 20th. So great job by Jake right there.
What's very important for Jacob Ellingson right now is to get by Barrett Morton, because this is a battle for the lucky dog spot. He's got Barrett Morton a second and a half just ahead of him, so he's probably not hoping for a caution just yet, because Barrett Morton will get that lucky dog and he won't. And so he wants to catch that driver and get up there and get himself into the lucky dog spot and then have the caution come out.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the times, Jake is really putting pedal to metal right now to catch up to Barrett Morton, and I'm sure Barrett knows the significance of staying ahead of Jake. So nice little battle for that lucky dog position right there. And looking at it, actually Cody Anderson has caught up a little bit closer to Chance Taylor, so a little bit fresher tires starting to really work its way it's in, and traffic starting to affect these drivers for that P3 position.
Yeah, you got Timothy Williams splitting there up high there in that red, white, and blue machine. So in the 14 is in that black car. We're looking at Cody Anderson's on top of that onboard camera there as he's going by Timothy Williams there, that lap down car, trying to chase down Chance Taylor in the number 14 as they go through 3 and 4 here and get ready to cross the start-finish line. So the battle for that last podium spot, like you said there, Samuel, is really starting to heat up. Now Logan Threlkeld, just speaking of the battle for the lucky dog, and we're talking about Jacob Ellingson, Logan Threlkeld has just won a lap down. So Logan Threlkeld, that's unfortunate for Jake Ellingson at this point, because Logan Threlkeld is quite a bit further up ahead of Jake Ellingson. I don't think Jake Ellingson is going to be able to run Logan down for that lucky dog spot. So now Jacob Ellingson is just racing for whatever he can get at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of, we're closing in on 10 to go, just kind of looking at the unofficial standings to see what the playoff picture looks like. And it looks like the drivers coming into the the race in the final 3 positions are still good to make it into the playoffs. So everything working out for Barrett, Chance, and Jamie Lipke.
Yeah. And Jamie Lipke, speaking of Jamie, she is back there running in 7th. So every time it seems like we start talking about her, I think this is the broadcaster's lucky person, because every time we bring the cameras to her, she's up a couple spots. She's up a spot here and there. So just having a quiet, solid night. I talked about it last night during the road course race. Just something that she's known for. Just quiet out there, being patient, and nobody's gotten into her tonight, which has usually been her case a lot of this season. And everybody able to keep away from her, and she's allowed to just run it clean and green. And of course, she's moving up the field and safely into that playoff position at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, getting into the end of this race, I think there's one organization that a lot of drivers really appreciate helping us here out at Go Locker. Ken, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I think you're talking about InVets, and of course Indiana. You know, we talk about all our sponsors here. Indiana Vets is a great organization. If you're thinking about moving to Indiana and you need help finding a job, or if you're in Indiana and you're a veteran first responder, make sure you reach out to this organization. They can help you out with tons of different things. You know, our veterans and our first responders don't have to go to alone. You know, look up these organizations. They're also a proud sponsor of the Sunday night Xfinity Series. So, you know, just great to have them on board. And like I said, if you're out in Indiana or thinking about moving to that state, you know, make sure you give these organizations like InVets a call, a shout out, and see what they can help you out. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, definitely. InVets a really great organization, really great to be partnering with them here at Go Locker. So love to talk about InVets. But looking at this battle for P3, Cody Anderson, just every lap is taking a 10th away from Chance Taylor. So battle's starting to heat up, and just one little mistake by any driver can really hamper their finishing position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just looked back just behind them. You got Michael Kostek and Patrick Drabick too. He's recovered up to the 6th position, and Patrick Drabick is going to be the car on the freshest tire. Of course, he's 21 seconds behind our leader, so it isn't like he's going to run Jeremy Gardner down before the end of this race, but trying to make up as many positions as he can. Still watching Chance Taylor holding on to that 3rd position, almost gets into the wall there. He knows Chance Taylor Cody Anderson is back there hunting him down. So just trying to drive it smooth, and probably knows that Cody's on a little bit fresher tires, and going to try to drive this thing home. Oh, he gets loose there, just as I said, trying to drive that thing smooth. Almost gives it up there, able to save it, and doesn't really lose too much time on Cody Anderson.
Yeah, Chance Taylor with a little bit of being loose off the corner, but luckily for him, Cody Anderson was also loose coming off the corner, so kind of balanced itself out. Both drivers kind of hurting on their tires, the rear tires to be specific, but you could kind of see that Chance takes a little bit deeper line into 3, while Cody stays a little bit lower towards the bottom of the corner. So it's very interesting to see how these drivers are attacking these turns in the final laps.
Yeah, Darlington does have a couple of different lines. Not so much in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, you can run a couple different lines depending on how you want your tire wear to behave. I kind of like to diamond that corner a little bit shallower entry like Cody's doing there, and drift up the track, and then diamond it back down. So I tend to drive it like Cody's doing it, but obviously see the 14 driving a much higher line, doing just great out there with that line as well. He's actually opened up a little bit of gap over Cody Anderson. As we're about 2 laps to go here. Next time by is Jeremy Gardner's going to cross the start-finish line with 2 to go.
Yeah, and just as you said that, Chance Taylor scrapes the wall again, so that's going to bring Cody right into it with coming into 2 laps to go. White flag lap actually is going to be, nope, next lap will be white flag. So Chance really trying to hold on right now.
Well, Jeremy Gardner round in 3 and 4, maybe the second to the last time here tonight. The glove station white flag is out for Jeremy Gardner. Can he do it one more lap here at Darlington? He had quite the night, started in the lead, and other than the pit cycle, he has never looked back. Complete dominance here at Darlington. 2 corners to go. Nothing really in front of him. Smacks the wall a little bit. Got Jamie Lipke just ahead of him. She's going to stay on the lead lap. But for the final time going through 3 and 4, that number 57 does it again. Jeremy Gardner wins tonight here at Darlington International Speedway.
Yeah, just a great showing by Jeremy Gardner right there. Coming on the last lap, had to get that little paint on the wall just for a reminder of who tamed the beast, but Jeremy Gardner doing what he does.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Gardner doing what he does. That's should be his slogan. So great job out there. I mean, he said this was one of his favorite tracks. If you look just back there in that other red car that's back there, that's our second place finish there, Travis Gilbert. We're going to talk to him again tonight. So Travis Gilbert, 2 weeks in a row on the podium, but great job there by Jeremy Gardner. He's going to come down here the front stretch and obviously give us a great celebration that only Jeremy Gardner can do here in this next gen car in the Premier Series. And how about that at Darlington? Only 2 early caution flags here tonight. Other than that, it was clean and green. Jeremy Gardner burning it down at Darlington. Well, while Jeremy Gardner celebrates here, we are going to take a short commercial break, and we'll come back with your unofficial results, and we're going to talk to our top 3 here tonight at Darlington. We'll see you here in moments.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
Thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
But Jonathan
We are back live at Darlington International. What a race we had for you folks here tonight. Pretty much clean and green, only 2 cautions on the night, and Jeremy Gardner comes home with the win once again, his 5th win on the season with another dominant performance. Travis Gilbert gets his 2nd podium out here. We're going to talk to him momentarily. He manages to wrap out 2nd place, and then Chance Taylor gets a nice job there in the 14 car in 3rd. Cody Anderson tried hard, couldn't quite get to that 3rd position, will come home 4th. Michael Kostick 5th. Patrick Drabick, after some late race strategy there, comes home 6th. Jamie Lipke 7th. Logan Threlkeld will finish P8, 1 lap down. Barrett Morton will finish P9th. And Jacob Ellingson wraps out your top 10.
Yeah, going into the back half of the field, Tyler Evans starting in 20th and finishing in 11th, so great job by him. Timothy Williams takes 12th night. Michael Jones with a great showing takes 13th. James Kaufman in 14th. Skylar Daly, even with the damage he has, still comes out with a 15th place position. Brian Provo with the 16th. Jason Taylor finishing in 17th. Ryan Pendleton, unfortunate with what happened to him, finishes in 18th. Daniel Cunningham takes 19th, and Corinne Smith with 20th.
After starting in 4th, the 0-4 will finish 21st. Tough night for Wesley Burke. James Silver is another one of those drivers qualifying up front, will finish 22nd. Tough night for him. Levi McCarty with that lap 1 spin will finish 23rd. Chuck Phelps 24th. Bobby Bender 25th. And Tyler Justice is the end of that 26 car field. Well, I'll tell you what, that was quite a race there, Samuel. I think we're going to go do things a little bit backwards tonight. I think we're going to talk to Travis Gilbert. What do you say there, Samuel? Or
Yeah,
not Travis Gilbert. Chance Taylor.
Chance, actually. Yeah, let's bring Chance into the field. Chance Taylor, Samuel Yosef, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Chance, how's it going? So, honestly, great showing tonight. You really showed your skill out here tonight in Darlington. Just want to ask you, what was the toughest moment out there tonight? Was it that battle with Cody or anything else that happened out there tonight?
It's pretty much just staying alive, guys. This is the first race I have finished at Darlington and Next Gen, so I'm just happy to be here, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I hear you when you say staying alive. With the tire fall offs, did you really feel any fall off with the low temperatures, or did the tires start to drop off after like 10 laps?
They lasted a little bit longer than I thought they would, but it still affected your line and affected your exit off. And like I said before, I was just trying to keep the wheels underneath it and get a straight exit as I can and get a good finish here.
Well, awesome job by you. So with this 3rd place, who would you like to thank for that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank iRacing, MK Fire Designs, SimMotion, Harpoon Designs, Zat Graphics, and you guys for putting on the broadcast. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, thank you, Chance.
Have a good one.
See, now, there you go, Samuel. I'm not the only one to do that there. But, yeah, so I was so anxious to talk to Travis Gilbert. I was jumping the gun there. So, Travis Gilbert, Ken Huber, Sammy Yosef in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, gentlemen?
Man, it is going awesome. I'll tell you what, man, we got to talk to you. Last week you got that 3rd place finish, and here you are at Darlington with 2nd place. Tell us how you got that done.
Yeah, we qualified P8. However, I've been having some headset issues where the audio keeps going in and out, and so I decided to take an EOL to go to the back. And funny enough, it didn't play no havoc until I got to 2nd place, and right before the pit stops, it started wanting to fade in and out and go nuts. Sounded like aliens trying to scramble it. So, and I was scared I was going to get ran over during the pit cycle, but the car is just really fast. I have some really great teammates, Ray Lane, Kyle Diaz. They come over and we do practicing, and Ray's really fast. Dude's stupid lights out fast. And then Kyle, he's the younger generation, and he's really good. He makes me work really hard too. So it's my oldest son Ethan's 22nd birthday today, so that had a lot of motivation, little extra speed in the tank, So just love Darlington. You race the racetrack, not the competition, even though I caught myself this track's easy and racing's easy to catch yourself in a mentality where you really got to get around somebody really fast, especially in the next gen car, before you burn up everything. And you can cook up your tires by doing it and make it even worse. You can exacerbate the problem. So I found myself doing that a couple times, but I disciplined myself and backed up the corners and was able to get through traffic, and just really appreciate everybody. You know, it was a good race. Only 2 cautions, 100 laps at Darlington. One of the best races I've had all week, and I'm appreciative of being able to come home second and talk to you guys.
Well, I'm glad to hear from you again. So hopefully we'll see it once again. I know you haven't raced all the races this season, but who do you have to thank for getting you this second place finish here tonight?
First, like I said, I want to thank my son and everything, and tell him I love him. And he's such a good kid, and he's finding out what the work adult life is. And hopefully we get to see him this weekend and have a good birthday. So happy 22nd birthday to him. Vet to Track, go to vettotrack.org. They got good causes. They're out here helping veterans and battling PTSD, and that's their motto, is battling PTSD one lap at a time. They like the 2 wheels. So if you do like some motorcycles, go check them out and go see how you can help a service member. My mom, I appreciate her. I love you. I know she broke her hand and stuff, so it sucks seeing your parents get older. So just know, Mom, I love you. And my stepdad, I appreciate you guys for everything you do. My nephew Branson helped me out today on my car, so thank you, Branson. My nephew Ezra just had a birthday, his 1-year birthday on Sunday, so happy birthday, Ezra. Lucas, my friends Terry and Tweet are coming home from Florida on their vacation, so it'd be good to see them. And just thank you to V-Speed for everything that you guys do, all the stuff that you guys are out there putting up on the YouTube network and the broadcasts and all the different series. Like, appreciate you guys for all that. And then, you know, you got the GOAT Talk and all the sponsors in this series with everything that they do for vets and the first service, or the first responders, and you know, people who really put their lives on the line. And this track is one of them, like Too Tough to Tame, Lady in Black. You know, like it fits that service member and first responder persona, where you have to be tough and gritty, and you have to be able to lock in for the long run and focus. So just appreciate you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come over and race with you guys and put on a good show.
All right, well, that was Travis Gilbert, second place finisher there. So great job there for Travis. Well, I'll tell you what, Samuel, who do you got?
I got the winner. First place, Jeremy Gardner. Jeremy Gardner, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jeremy, sounds like I think you ate your Wheaties today, because you had a great showing tonight. And honestly, with that lap 1, you know, boom, your biggest competitor is out of the race. So with that, how did you feel out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I knew the start of that race was going to be a little skeptical. I ran, I don't know, 600-700 laps in A Open last week, and I mean, honestly, it was the same damn way. Just people blowing tires off on the start. So I can't really knock it, man. I mean, it's going to happen. It's the new horsepower upgrade with these things. So, I mean, I figured somebody was going to do it tonight. I didn't expect it to be him, but that was a fun race. I hate a bunch of people got knocked out super early, and everybody ended up having to leave, but it happens. Welcome to Darlington.
Yeah, welcome to Darlington, definitely. Well, we're finishing out the regular season with a win. You have the most wins on the regular season, walking into the playoffs with Bristol next week. How are you feeling?
You never know how to feel going into Bristol. It's either a clean race or it's a crapshoot. So I don't know. I think I'll run pretty good at Bristol. We'll just see how it plays out. I mean, like I said, if it goes green and it's pretty clean, I think we can contend for a win there.
Well, definitely looking forward to your playoff run. Great to have you on this broadcast. Who do you have to thank for your first place tonight?
Yeah, Pat and Jamie at GLR. Appreciate everything them guys do for the league, veteran community. Lincoln Tech, Safe 22 for being on the car. All they do for GLR as well. Crusin Classics and Nasties, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, InVets, Above the Yellow Line, Jam Printing and Promotions for all they do as well. V-Speed, everything y'all do up in the booth, appreciate y'all. My guys, Premier Racing Setups, and my guys at Prestige Performance.
Well, there you go. Jeremy Gardner with the win.
Well, I got to tell you there, Samuel, that was a great race here at Darlington. Anytime we can come to these tracks and get a nice clean ride. And we had a couple incidents at the start of this thing, but it was clean and green. Otherwise, seen a lot of different strategies. And of course, Jeremy Gardner just got out front and just never let go.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great showing. A lot of good racing out there. Great to see some of these playoff cutoff drivers have a great showing. Unfortunate to the others who got taken out early, but great race overall.
Yeah, I know we talked about the standings at the top of the broadcast. A lot of drivers trying to fight their win. We didn't have any new people in that locked in with the win, so that pretty much is going to lock our standings in. I don't know exactly how things are going to shake out, but drivers like Jamie Lipke and stuff are probably pretty safe with that good finish that she had. Logan Threlkeld, Levi McCarty's obviously in this. Cody Anderson will stay in, so Wesley Burke more than likely is still in this thing. So we're going to be back in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back to the playoff season. This is the track we're coming to, Bristol. This is kind of a neat track. I always loved Bristol, but ever since they changed it and that high line came into play, it's not. I used to like this track when it was a bottom feeder, and but right now that I think with these next gen cars, we'll see two different lines here at Bristol, but we'll have to wait and see. What do you think there, Samuel?
Yeah, Bristol in this next gen car is honestly, you can go in any line. It's just really how do you keep your tires together and can you stay out of any trouble?
Yeah, and the one thing, when you're going into the corners here at Bristol, if there's an incident in front of you, you can't really see it until you're on top of it. So it's one of those tracks that drivers fear sometimes. It's just you come around the corner and next thing you know, the whole track is blocked for an accident you didn't even know was there. So it'll be interesting, and at least it's the first race of the playoffs. So, you know, if drivers have an incident here for the first race of the playoffs, they have the second race, which, by the way, we're going to take a look at the schedule and see where they're at. We're going to have a 2-race playoff. We're going to bring our top 12 in, and we'll have 2 races to play off. And so Bristol will be the first, and it looks like, I'm just going to go take a look here. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Texas. So we'll be at Texas for the top 2 races, the round of 12.
Yeah, two great tracks for cutoff races. So looking forward to it. And honestly, it's been great being out of the car tonight, but looking forward to getting back in the car for those tracks.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a great night. Let's wrap this thing up. And of course, it was a pleasure presenting this race to everybody out there. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. You know, V-Speed, we try to do our best out here to bring you the best online race coverage out there. On behalf of Goat Locker Racing, I'm Ken Huber. Sammy Yosef is filled in for Jacob Lenke and did a great job out here with me tonight. Lucas Lyons production, and then Dougie Beard on cameras, of course. With that said, we'll see you in 2 weeks for the race, the first championship race at Bristol, right here on V-Speed.